All right, guys, here we go again. Um, let's get this thing going. All right, today I want to go over a couple of things. I just want to do this video because this could be a good resource for real estate agents, mortgage guys, and even builders to give to their homeowners when they have a situation going on. As far as someone who wants to do a custom job. Um, Custom jobs today, guys, are a little bit trickier. They're a little bit tougher to do. Um, Everything has got to be on point. And so these are some of the items that, I just did a couple of custom jobs, and these are some of the items that we could have done better if these things were um, dealt with on the front end. So let's kind of look at some of these things because I know it gets real frustrating with homeowners and builders and homeowners and real estate agents, homeowners and banks, and I mean it gets real chaotic. Everything usually always starts out really, really good, but then when you get down to the end, things kind of get really tight, and people can get really cross with one another. So let's kind of look at this right here. So these are some of the things, guys, that I just want you guys to understand what homeowners should expect from their home builder. And once again, guys, I keep telling you guys that builders are a different breed of people to deal with. A lot of them are going to be indifferent only because of the stuff that they have to deal with on a daily basis. They have to deal with subcontractors, and they have to deal with banks. They have to deal with people on all platforms. And so, and even a homeowner. So these are some of the things. So, and here's the thing, before the homeowner even goes to, and I'm gonna just go ahead and jump right into this right here. But before the homeowner actually even start dealing with a real estate agent, these are some things that you can go ahead and get taken care of before you even talk to the real estate agent, because they can help you better find the product that you're looking for. Okay. So if you want to build, the first thing you're going to have to do is you need to go to a lending institution. Not unless you just have all the money, and I've seen people like that, they got $500,000, $1 million, they can just throw it out here and build them a house. But most people, probably 95% of Americans, can't do that. So what we have to do is we got to go to we got to borrow, we got to get a mortgage. We got to pay, we got to pay these loans back. Make everybody out of a debt slave. But the first thing you're gonna have to do is you got to go do what they call you got to go to a bank or a mortgage broker, and you need to get an approval letter, not pre-approval. Get a pre-approval. Get an approval letter. And when you get a approval letter, they're gonna go in and they're gonna look at a couple of months' income that you're bringing in, you and your spouse if you're married. They're gonna look at your credit history. Let's see how strong you are financially, what kind of money you got in the bank. They're really gonna probe you to see whether or not you can pay that loan back. Usually mortgage running 30 years. I think they're trying to get 40 years now. First thing you can do to help that real estate agent better guide you in what product you need to get is to get an approval letter. And on that approval letter, it's going to tell what you are probably capable of being able to finance. Now that don't mean you got to go all the way. If it's $500,000, if it's $600,000, that don't mean you got to go out there and borrow $600,000. But at least you know where you're at. So it doesn't make any sense that you're going out here looking for a product that's $500,000. You can only afford. The bank will only write you up a loan for $300,000. So that's the first thing you want to do. Is you want to jump out there and you want to get those banks and find a bank or a mortgage broker that can get an approval letter so that you can take that approval letter to the next person in line. Now, the next person, and I don't, and this is before you build, guys. These are things that are going to happen before you do anything. Now, I may have these things out of order. I may have to retract a little bit, but this is kind of the order I got it in. At that point, once I kind of get that figured out, I would probably at that point go to a real estate agent. Now, Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you're dealing with a real estate agent, I wouldn't do too much shopping around. I try to find somebody I can trust. Even when I'm dealing with the builders. Builders the same way. You know, this shopping around stuff, and I'm gonna go over here to this person, see what they got to say, and go over here to this person, see what they got. No. And that doesn't necessarily mean you got to go get a family member. I know a lot of family members do real estate on the side and stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I would, in the market that I'm in, I don't know if I'd deal with somebody. If I was a homeowner, I don't think I would deal with a real estate agent that just do this on the side. You know, they may have a full-time job, and then they kind of do real estate on the side. So it's, you know, they don't have that. And I'm not saying they don't, because I've seen some real estate agents. I've seen real estate agents that's teachers, that hustles. Go out there and they make things happen. They on the hustle. You know, they on the grind. They trying to make things happen. But overwhelmingly, if I had to pick one, I'd pick someone that this is how they feed their family. This is their livelihood, and this is all they have. They got to make this work. And they're doing it full time. You know, like I said, real estate agents. At one time, they were a supplementary job, just some kind of you did on the side. A lot of people still are doing it like that. But I would try to find somebody, number one, that I can trust. Number two, this is what they do. This is their career. This is how they make their money. This is how they feed their family. And when you find that person, you need to know how to vet them out real good. But you need to make sure that they have a fiduciary relationship with you. And a fiduciary relationship in which one party, known as a truster, gives another party, the trustee, the right to hold title to property or assets for the benefit of the third party or beneficiary. I don't know. That's more of a legal thing right there. I should have put something else on my slide here, but fiduciary responsibility. And let's just look at that word, man. I just want to make sure that I'm looking at that right, because I could be let me see, I'm on caps lock. Fiduciary meaning. Let me just see what it means. Got all that. So fiduciary is someone who manages money or property for someone else. When you're named a fiduciary and accept the role, you must, by law, manage the person's money and property for their benefit, not yours. So that's really what they're doing. So they really have a fiduciary responsibility. Means that, yes, you got a property, but they manage it on your behalf because they're supposed to be the expert at what they do. So that, I'm thinking that that's the key right there. So, but you got to be able to trust these guys. You know, that trust is everything. I would almost say you almost should trust them to the point to where they give you full disclosure. Okay, you need to know full disclosure. All right, now I'm probably gonna skip one of these right here, because once you have the amount that you're going to purchase, so you kind of have an idea of how much you're going to spend on that house. You've been approved through a lending institution, a bank, and you good with the money. Then you need to take that number and you need to go to a real estate agent. This is what a real estate agent, find somebody you can trust. And that person is going to guide you. They're going to have a fiduciary responsibility with you. They're just like a marriage with you. They're going to guide you to what you're going to need out of that. They're going to try to find the house, the size house you're going to need, a neighborhood with the size houses that you're looking for, etc. So this is when you get into that. And so what that agent should do at that point is take your numbers, and they should be able to go on MLS or whatever they do to look for something. First, they need to find the area you want to be in. Maybe you have kids over here in a school system that you don't want to uproot them out of the school system, etc. So you need to find a place that they have lots available so that you can build. And in that neighborhood, you want to go through and you want to have that agent do some comparables to make sure that the houses in that area is selling at least in the area which the cost that you want to build in. Okay. So if all the houses in that area is $600,000 and you was approved for $500,000, you may not be able to put that in that neighborhood. But if all the houses in there was approved for $600,000 and you were approved for $650 or something, then you may be okay. So you got to do your due diligence. And also another thing that agent needs to make sure, and we're going to talk about this when we get to the builder, because now it's time to start, looking for your builders and stuff and trying to figure out whether or not it's in your price range. They need to be able to look at that and make sure everything matches up. Cost of the houses, cost of the subdivision, and even when the builder comes back with his quote, here's her quote, it needs to make sense. You see, if you got a certain size house and the comparables are right, all the houses in the neighborhood is 3,000 square feet, and your house, you got a set of plans for 3,000 square feet, and the builder gives you, and the houses in the neighborhood were all 600,000, and this builder comes in and give you the quote for the house being at, I don't know, 400,000. We got a problem. We might need that real estate agent need, hey, some eyebrows. That real estate agent, because they done been in the game enough to know that that's probably not matching up too good. So you got to keep that in mind as well. All right. So now the next thing you want to do, once you got, you know where you want to be, you got to kind of figure out the comparables. We got a nice little spot here. I got a land. I'm going to go ahead and put a contract on this property. I'm just going to put a contract on it. Hopefully I can give them the least amount of earnest money as I can just to hold it so I can do some more due diligence on figuring out other things, making sure, that's when you want to get your builder in there to look at it and stuff like that. But at this point, you want to go find you know how much it's worth. So a good builder can be able to tell you around about. Now, I don't like to do this, guys. A lot of people, I only do this on the front end, just kind of give them an idea of what they need to be looking for without me having to do a full-fledged quote. I would give them about the market value per square foot in this current, in the current market, so that homeowner can go to a plan designer and find a plan that fits within that square footage range. Does that make sense? Because they don't need to go, if they can only build a house that's 3,000 square feet, they don't need to be looking at a house that's 5,000 square feet. And here's another thing, guys, in the state of Alabama, you don't need an architect. You just need a plan designer. And I don't even know if the plan designer has to have a degree. They don't. I mean, you can get a CAD program and draw it up yourself if you want to. They got a nice CAD program. I was looking at some students the other day. It's called Flow something, where they can build a whole house in virtual reality on the internet. So, I mean, you can do that if you want to. But now if something go wrong, there's something that's not code compliant on those plans, it's going to take a little bit longer for it to be approved through the municipality. A lot of these plan designers got all that stuff written inside of their CAD program. So that's the next thing you want to do. You want to find a good plan designer. Okay. Plan designers are going to draw those plans up. Now you probably, call the builder that at least one time and, hey man, I need to know what kind of house I need to be looking at. And he could probably direct you to some plan designers. So at that point, you want to get you a plan designer. All right. Then once that plan designer, and guys, this could take, and also another thing that's going to happen prior to that, and I missed this right here, is you're going to have, once those plans get done, they're going to do the bank is going to take those plans and do an appraisal before you even build. They're going to do an appraisal just to make sure it fits with the comparables. And, so they're going to do all that on the front end. So once you get your plan designer, they're going to draw you up a nice set of plans. You guys may have to go back and forth a couple of times. At that point, I probably would try to start getting the builder a little bit involved just so he can kind of engage with the plan designer to make sure, you hadn't signed up with the builder, but now I'm going to tell you something, guys. if you got a contract on a lot and you can show a builder an approval letter, not a pre-approval letter, but an approval letter, and you have a contract on a lot. Most builders, without the plans, most builders will go out there, without a charge, and they will go out there and at least look at the site, or they will engage with you to kind of guide you in the direction you need to go in. But if you don't have any of those things, matter of fact, I usually have you got to have, as a builder, I want you to have at least 2 of the 3. You have a set of plans that you pay for, a full working set of plans, that don't cost you between $1,500 to $2,000, $1,500 to $2,000. You're gonna have a contract on a lot, or you're gonna have an approval letter. If you got 2 of the 3 of those, what I just said, I would go out there and look at that lot for you, and I would kind of engage with you, let you know what you need to be looking for. I would really do that. But most people, if you don't, you just have 1 of the 2. We don't, as a builder, man, we don't have time to be just going out there and looking at stuff. And once we vetted you, you don't seem like you're ready to go. We just don't know. We don't have a lot of time. Our time is already fragile and delicate as it is. We don't have a lot of time. So as a builder, at least have 2 of those 3 I just said. Okay. Now the next thing, let's see if I can, it's probably not gonna do it like that. The next thing, guys, you want to do is well, at this point, you want to find your builder. Let me see if I'm under. You need to find your builder. I'm gonna pop back on this contract. The contract, but no, the next one, you want to find your builder now. Now, let me just say this right, guys. Just find your guy. I wouldn't try to do no quotes. Like 3, like the insurance companies tell you, hey man, go get 3 quotes. People go out there and get 3 prices. And that's just been just what we do as Americans. We just go out there and get 3 quotes, whatever. And they do builders like that. They go out 3 different builders, and I wouldn't do that, guys. What I would do in this market is find a builder. I would vet them, and I'd find a builder that I could trust. I would, because the cost is going to be the cost. Nowadays, guys, it's not the builders that's driving the cost up. And the builder will do your cost plus. They'll tell you what they get. We would sit down and say, hey, this is what I'm going to be paid. We will do that. I'll tell you exactly what I need to make off this job once I kind of look at it. And everything is most builders are going to be very transparent on how they operate today. They're not going to be trying to hide stuff from, because it's already hard enough. You're trying to get to the end and something come up, and you got all this, something come up, and the homeowner say, hey, look at what you did. There's already enough problems as it is. So find somebody you could trust. Because most builders are going to do cost. They're going to do cost plus anyway. They're not going to do no guaranteed maximum price. I can assure you that. Find someone, guys. Just find somebody that you can trust. Find a builder that you can trust, that you feel confident that this guy's not running a game on you. Okay. And he's going to shoot it straight with you. So I would do that first, because here's the thing, guys. You're going to have a relationship. When a builder builds your house, he's going to be there with you for, I don't know how long. It may take a year to build houses now, but he's going to be there. And then even after you build a house, he's stuck with you for about a year. And in the state of Alabama, unless you opt out of a 7-year contract, the builder has to offer you 7 years, at least up to 7 years. But you can opt out of just having 1 year. Typically, what the builders do is they charge you a little bit more the more years you go. And so, just find somebody you can trust. Find somebody you can get along with, somebody you can trust. Vet them really well. Talk about it. I mean, I probably interview 2 or 3 builders, but I would actually find somebody that I could, that I technically can, that I really could trust. It's gonna shoot it to me straight. And that's what you need to be looking for, guys. Then what's gonna happen after that is that builder should be able to give you an estimate. They should be able to get everything out and just estimate the cost. Now, Now, like I said, today, guys, I do nothing but a cost plus. I'm going to show you what that house is going to cost. Now, I'm not going to give you itemization. I'm not going to turn that over to you because that's how I eat. So if I turn that over, I'll turn that over to you once. Once we do this right here, once we have a contract, I'll turn that over to you. And now we can go through it. But, you know, he can estimate that thing. He got those plans. He can look at that lot. And that builder can sit here and estimate what it's going to cost to build this house. And you need to have a builder that go line item for line item, not somebody who doing that, doing that cost square footage type thing. And he going to take a number and he going to multiply by the square. That's how you get in trouble because all houses are very unique. They're very unique and got over 300,000 parts. Every house is individual. You got to price everything out in line item per line item of what it's going to cost. Might put a little fluff in certain places like foundation and framing, but it's going to cost what it's going to cost, guys. So you want to estimate. That builder's going to get in there. She's going to estimate that cost. He's going to get all the suppliers, all the subcontractors. He's going to put his cost on top of it, and he's going to come back to you with one of these, with a contract. Like I said, guys, if it were me, there's nothing wrong with doing a cost plus. You can do a cost plus percentage, or you can do a cost plus a flat rate. I think the fairest way would be a cost plus a percentage because, sometimes the homeowner get in here and change things. They increase costs. Typically, when you increase costs, you also increase complexity. So, and that real estate agent should actually be able to help you go through that contract. That's what they're there for. Matter of fact, y'all gonna all look at that stuff together. This is how it works. They probably already put a contract on the land itself because your real estate agent got a fiduciary responsibility because they're working on your behalf when it comes down to the land. So you're really working through this thing, guys. You're working through it together. And that's what that's what you're going to have. So now you got your contract, guys. And when you get your contract, I think the next thing is going to be the building starts. If everything's good, you're able to sign the contract. We can sign that contract and you get your bank loan. That loan close. Typically the builders are going to get a down payment and the bank take care of that. And down payment is really going to be the amount of money that the builder is going to need to get that site prepped up and permits and things like that. That's what he should be getting that money for. He may have to get him a little bit of money for his managing those guys, but that's the first thing that's going to happen. Now, the building's going to start, but building can start, but the only thing you're going to see is probably erosion control stuff like silk fence and porta pods out there and gravel. That don't mean, guys, let me just tell you homeowners something. Just because you don't see nothing happening on that site does not mean nothing is happening. I can guarantee you, man, most of these builders behind closed doors on your site is like a hamster running on a wheel trying to get things done. And some of the things, a lot of the things, you guys got to understand that a home builder, he contracts everything out. He contracts absolutely every part out. And typically, if you find a homeowner out there trying to do stuff themselves, that's going to waste you time because if he's out here working on it, he can't do it as fast and as efficient as subcontractors can do it. And then the longer you drag that process out, the longer you guys are going to pay interest. And that interest is going to pile up on you. Not only that, if it takes longer, it's going to compile on the end part of the project. So they're working. They're working hard. These builders are working extremely hard. They're dealing with the municipality. You got people at the municipality who don't want to be there today. Somebody didn't show up, so they got to go to somebody else and sit on somebody else's desk. They didn't show up for work that day, and it may have to sit on the desk until that particular person come in. You just never know what's going to happen. Okay, so that's the next thing going to happen, guys. You just when that loan closed, just because it closed, don't mean a whole crew is going to be out there digging the next day. That typically don't happen. Because the first thing it's got to do is, even when the builder makes submittals, it's got to go through zoning requirements. So you have a whole zoning coordinator, a zoning personnel that's going to look at that and make sure that you meet all the setbacks. They're going to make sure some of it, they're going to make sure HOA, homeowners association items are handled. Like in certain subdivisions, you got to have certain things in place for the HOA. There's certain, like the HOA will have to approve the way the house look. Colors. They have to approve colors and things like that. The colors of your brick, and you got to get that stuff up front and turned in before you can even before you can even get your permit in some cases. So we got to go through zoning first. And then it goes through once zoning is approved, then it goes through the permitting process. And then it has the plans examiner is going to review it. He's going to look at it and he's going to check it for code compliance. He's going to make sure the code, which is a big safety manual, he's going to make sure that stuff is done. Then, once you start building, actually start digging at every phase, the foundation, the walls, the basement walls, the slab, the slab plumbing, the framing and all those, every step of the way, guys, you're going to have inspections now. So and sometimes the inspectors can't come out there. And sometimes you fail and they got to come back the next day. So these are the things that slowing this process down. It ain't just the builder just sitting here saying, man, let me just see how long I can be on this job. They're not doing that. No, it's these processes. And then in most cases, guys, once you get the foundation in, you have to go to a surveyor and have a surveyor to come do what they call a foundation in place survey before you can actually start building vertical. And guys, you want to make sure they do that, because if that foundation is in the wrong place and it does not meet what the zoning coordinator, if you're all about 2 or 3 feet, they can make you tear that whole foundation out, the municipality. These are facts, guys. So you got to be careful with that. You also have, all the inspections and stuff is going on. Then you got to deal with subcontractors now, mind you, the builder, in most cases, guys, the home builder is just subbing every last one of these people out. Suppliers, subcontractors. He has really no control over these other companies, other than the only leverage he has is payment and being able to provide future work for them. A sense of loyalty. This is all he got. If you got somebody that just don't want to come out, I got a mechanical guy, a plumber guy that they struggling. They working off of skeleton crews. They don't have anybody. There's not a lot of people in the trades anymore. So these guys are hurting. And so I have to wait. And it's not like, the homeowner called me, hey man, what's going on? Is anybody out there today? If you keep calling me, I'm probably going, I hate to have to lie to you. Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. I just tell them, but guys, if you keep calling them, it's gonna make the person just want to just tell you anything to get you off the phone. This is what the builders, so the builder can't control that for the most part. Okay. And these are some of the other things that's happened during construction, guys. So let me just let you guys understand one thing about construction, guys. Guys, I have to always go full screen on this one right here, man. Guys, let me just help you understand this right. It's not going to be perfect. Your house is simply not going to be perfect. There are going to be a bunch of items in your house, guys, that you're just going to have to accept the way it is, especially in this market. So if you're going to turn around, you're going to micromanage people and just, hey man, you got to do it like this. You got to be 2 inches to the left and stuff like that. It's just going to increase your time on your house. Yeah, we could do it. Yeah, but it's going to, God didn't even make a tree grow straight, so don't expect perfection. Now, we're going to strive for perfection. I strive for perfection. And I know I can't get perfection. I know it's not going to happen, man. But along the way, I can at least get excellence. I can get a good job out you. But so this is what you're dealing with. So, some people, they in occupations where everything they do has got to be perfect, like engineers or accountants. Everything got to match up, and it's just not going to be perfect. And I'm going to make sure when I build that house, you're going to meet building quality and standards. You're going to meet industry standards, guys. And I'm going to try to do a little bit above, because the code is just minimum. It's just kind of bare minimum. So I'm going to try to make sure you get at least industry standards, which is what I strive for, just to make sure. And most of the stuff that you're going to see anyway that you're going to have a problem with is going to be cosmetic. It really is. It's going to be cosmetic stuff that, paint, color, somebody put a scratch on it. But those are things that you're going to take care of during the punch. So, guys, don't just be on the bit, hey, what about this right here during the process? What about, most of the times, man, they already saw it. But the builders focus on other things. They're focused on getting you in that house. You guys got to understand, there's a lot of stuff going on. And the builder's focused on getting you in the house. He's not concerned about the little bitty stuff, the little hole that was knocked in the wall by one of your painters, or your drywall guy knocked a hole in the wall or something like that. We can fix that. So these are the things that we gotta keep in mind, guys, when you're dealing with your builders. It's not gonna be perfect. Now the builder's gonna deal with what they call the MEPs, mechanical, electrical, and plumbers. Those guys are gonna come out and do their thing. Those guys are not, they are licensed tradesmen. They all have their own license. Here's the thing, guys. I know a lot about building, but I know enough about HVAC, plumbing, and electrical to know what they probably should be doing. But I don't know their stuff or their trade as well as they do. Even the MEP guy, the mechanical, electrical, plumber, that's probably, people will probably consider the lowest of the low. He probably know more than me about that particular trade. So homeowners, if you ask me questions about mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, I'm probably not going to be able to give you an answer. And I'm not going to give you a general question, yes. Now, like, what's a trap? Why, I can probably explain that. But for the most part, I don't like to try to explain those guys' trade. I really, and I really don't really want you talking to them. And that's something else, but that's another subject. Not right now until I get the house built. That's why you got to trust your builder, guys. You got to trust, hey, he got it covered. That's what you got to do. So then you also have your subcontractors, which is like your drywall guy, your painters, and people that's just not licensed. They come out, they knock their stuff out the way, guys. And you have suppliers. And I'm going to tell you something else, homeowners. Those suppliers can be nightmares. You order windows, these are some other things that happens, and you think the builder just kind of sitting up, he's not managing these guys. He can't control what happens at the warehouse. They just, in most cases, you just can't. They sent all the windows except one. And that one is going to stop you from bricking the whole house. Because it's in one of the places where you got a brick around it. And I wouldn't want to have the brick, now you got to hold up brick. Brick veneer, you're going to hold that up. So, these are some more guys. And sometimes these guys, they schedule you in. They got other stuff going on. Thing about it is you really don't want to be dealing with subcontractors that's not busy, because why are they not busy? Is what you got to ask yourself. If you got subcontractors kind of sitting around twiddling their thumbs, just waiting on somebody to come use them, that's a problem within itself. That tells you a lot about that character of that subcontractor. So be careful with that. So you got those guys got to come out. And they're going to be out there. And one thing that I have, guys, as a homeowner, leave the subcontractors and suppliers alone. Just leave them alone. Don't engage. I'm gonna tell you something. Don't engage. And it should, that should be written in a contract. if you got something that you want to change, you see one of the subcontractors doing something that's not consistent with the way you thought it was supposed to be done, send a text or email or call the builder and tell them about it. Let him deal with it, because now you're going to go out there and talk to him. Hey, no, this needs to be done like that. The subcontractor is going to stop altogether because they don't want to put something up that's not going to be right. So so now you done lost another day. And not only that, they don't know who to listen to. So now that makes it very complicated for the subcontractors and the supplier. They just guys, there should be one information should flow in one direction. It should go through the builder. It should be channeled through the builder. And when you guys start changing stuff and adding things too, man, it also, you just never know. You make, hey, I want another plug right there. That's $300. And then you wonder why at the end of when you get toward the end, and now you got another $10,000 you got to pay. Well, this is why. Because you was engaging with the subcontractors and the contractors. And you was making changes and stuff, change orders and stuff, and you didn't tell the builder about it. Now, that's a problem. And in most contracts, man, that's grounds for just terminating that contract. That builder can walk away from that. So be careful with that, man. Just leave the guys alone. Now, once you get your house built and everybody's done, you finish, you moved in your house, you done with that builder. Now you can go deal with that guy. Get their number. I don't have a problem with you getting my subcontractor number. Hey, man, I'm going to call you when I'm done with this house. I need some more work done. I don't, it's already hard enough for me to get my stuff done. Now, we dealing with you. You're dealing with the subcontractors, guys. One thing that, and I'm going to tell you, one thing that homeowners hate more than one thing that home builders hate probably more than anything, guys, is change orders. Change orders are a headache. Because there's so many different things going on. We don't really have time, especially if you're a mom and pop builder. You just, you're building a truck. And you're not one of these big builders. Now, them big builders will put you in place. These big giant builders and stuff, they'll put you in your place on those change orders. They'll let you know right off the bat. I don't care how small it is. You're going to end up paying about $10,000, $15,000 just for the smallest thing. That'll stop you in your tracks right there. And not only that, they got enough leverage. They got enough leverage on you to say, hey, if you don't like it, we'll just let you go and we'll find somebody else that'll move in this house. And that's usually not how it works on a custom house, especially a custom house. They're a little bigger and they're a little bit more custom. But, change orders is what builders, I tell you what, man, builders just, this is a builder's nightmare dealing with change orders, because you can lose a lot of money if you're not keeping up with that stuff. And you don't have, like a builder, we don't have time to be doing change orders all the time. We just don't. Especially if you got another house going on, maybe 2 houses, 3 houses. Now you got to sit down and figure this up, because the smallest little change order you just don't know what kind of changes it's going. You may be looking at it as all you got to do is just push this wall back 1 foot. Well, that affects everything. That affects the sheetrock, insulation, the wires, plumbing, sometimes mechanical, paint, flooring, crown molding, trim. It affects all that stuff. One little wall, push 1 feet, makes a big difference. So you gotta, like I said, man, we don't like that. And builders, if you're a builder, if you don't keep up with your change orders, that will kill you, take you under. And change orders need to be, you need to write it up. Both parties need to sign it. The money needs to be collected on the front end before you can do anything. And if they can't do it, construction needs to continue without it. Okay. And I might be, let's see, no, I'm not. Let's see, there we go. There's another person that's involved in this game, guys. I tell you what, man. Now, this person here if you if you are a builder and you don't have this person hired in house, this person can destroy you. The decorator. And I try to always hire a decorator for my guys. You know, like if I got a custom home, I try to always hire a decorator only because it stops me from, number one, I don't have to engage so much with the homeowners. You know, I can just have one person just giving me everything I need, and then I just go out there and do it. Now, they've already picked out everything for me instead of the homeowners trying to make their mind. Because this is really tough for homeowners too. Even dealing with the decorator is tough for them. Just trying to pick stuff out and make decisions. People don't like to do that. But decorators, you know, I'm just gonna tell you this right here. If that decorator don't work, if that decorator is not in-house for that builder. Now, I've seen cases where the decorator is the builder. The decorator worked for the builder. But if that decorator is not an in-house decorator and they got their own stuff, like say for instance, they may work for a window company or they may work for a flooring company or something like that, you could, you know, there's no incentive whatsoever for that decorator to keep you in budget. You're gonna have allowances for, you know, your tile, just budgets and allowances. You're gonna have these things for all those things, like your countertops, cabinets. You have all that stuff set up. And that decorator typically should stay within budget. But there's really no incentive for them to stay within budget because here's the thing. Here's the thing you got to understand. If that decorator is not in-house, well then if that decorator uses a cabinet company or that decorator goes to a lighting company, they're going to get 10% from those light guys. So now your costs of your light fixtures went up by 10% right off the bat. That's because you use a decorator. I've even had where I took, I have this is my lighting company. I told the decorator to go to the lighting company, and that decorator got 10%. But that doesn't make sense to me. Now, if the decorator guided the person to that particular lighting company, then I can understand that. But if anybody should get that 10%, it should have been me. They should have discounted me 10%. The decorator don't get none. I guess I guess to be fair, we should split it 5 and 5. They get 5%, I get 5% because they do spend their time out there trying to go through that stuff. So people need to be paid for their time, decorating. But guys, if you don't get that decorating right, man, and they can blow your budget. So you got to have somebody that's gonna hold that budget steady. And then when things get kind of out of order, man, they can get kind of messy. You can get the decorator and talk to the homeowner. Well, the decorator told me this, and that stuff can get really messy. So you got to be real careful with those guys and know what you're doing when you're dealing with the decorators as well, guys. And guys, I'm gonna tell you something that you don't want to do as a homeowner. I know you're excited about your house. I know you're glad you're getting close to it, and you're proud of yourself. You got a nice home. I mean, you can kind of see this picture right here. How this guy looking at this. He looks like a subcontractor, not necessarily a builder, but look his look that he got. Like, damn, why you guys keep coming here? Here's the thing, guys. Let me just say this right here. As a builder, let me just let you understand this. As a builder, when I go to a job site, I go to work. When I say work, I'm trying to see things that I need to see. I don't need to be interrupted. I don't need to be distracted. I need to go in there and see exactly what I need to see in order to make sure everybody do what they need to do. If you're there talking to me, that's going to distract me. Now, I'm not going to be able to see stuff, and then you're going to come back on the back end and say, why didn't you see this? Now I'm not saying don't ever go over there and you see the builder, the builder pull up, you just drive off. No, I mean, yeah. But if you're out there just every day, all the time, engaging with subcontractors, just, man, I don't even want to go to the site if I see that. Guys, I used to be an inspector, man. If I saw the builder on the site, because I need to go inspect. If I saw the builder on site, I didn't go. I'd pick another time, come back when he gone. because you know, that's why most time I go out there and clean up so I can see things that I need to see. But guys, stay with me. I know you're excited, but you know, stop. You know, just every day. And here's the thing: all you're gonna do is you're gonna irritate yourself because you know there may be a day or two subcontractors don't even show up. And if you're out there every day, you're gonna, why ain't nobody here today? Why ain't nobody here today? You watching water boil. You're watching paint dry. It's not gonna help neither one of us. You're gonna get irritated. You're gonna be calling me. So stay away from the site. Now, once you move in, let me just say this right here. You know, you got that 1 year warranty. Or if you chose to have 7 years, you're gonna be able to work that out. But you know, there's a warranty that we have, and guys. Typically on that warranty, the builder is gonna pad things that mostly move that you got to turn on and you got to utilize a lot. The builder is gonna pass that warranty on to you. So I know mechanical, electrical, plumbers, MEP guys, those guys, I give, homeowners get their numbers. I give the homeowners their number, their direct number. Because once again, guys, I don't know their trade as well as they do. I mean, you may think that I'm a builder, I know everything, but I really don't. Because if you call me, if you got a plumbing problem, it ain't gonna do you no good calling me. I can't help you. You need to call the plumber. You need to short circuit that and call that plumber. You got a mechanical problem. I don't do mechanical. I don't know that. You probably think I do, but I don't. You know, sometimes if you listen to me talk, you're like, man, this dude know everything. No, I don't. You need to call that. You need to call that guy. Garage doors and cabinet, things that move, the doors opening, your trim carpenters, all those things. Yes, I had to call those guys. Like your garage doors, you need to call those guys directly. I give you the number directly. Deal with those guys directly. You see? Now, if you have a problem and they won't return your phone call, and you within that warranty time frame, then you need to pick the phone up and call me and let me deal. And then I deal with them on your behalf, then we can go to, we can work through that thing there, but it's not gonna help you any. Calling me, some people, man, I'll be honest with you, man, if they see me riding in the neighborhood, they'll lay down in the middle of the road, man, and want me to stop. I'll deal with a problem. Or they'll call me 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, what about this right here? You gonna do this right here? You gonna take care of this right here? Guys, I'm gonna tell you on the cosmetic stuff, you better get that stuff done on the punch list because we don't really want to come back for that stuff. Now you got some builders that will, but that cosmetic stuff. And guys, it's not really the cosmetic stuff that's the problem. The biggest problems you ever have on a house is stuff that happens between the walls that you don't even see. And at some point in time, guys, when your warranty's over with, everything's done, there's going to have to be a time when you're going to have to launch, just like your kid. I know you like the builder and you want him to be there and you want him to hear your issues that you had about this and that and the other, but at some point in time, you guys are going to have to part ways. You didn't hire a butler to just sit in and you can call for 15. Man, I got people calling me 3-4 years after their house was built. You got a 1 year warranty. That's how it works. But I just thought I should kind of share that with you guys. So, if you guys get to a point where you guys get to a point where you're building a house, look back at this right here. And you guys need to understand what the builders are thinking and how the builders are feeling as well. And builders, you need to understand what the homeowners are thinking. You need to put yourself in their shoes. If you're going to be a good builder, you got to put yourself in their shoes as well. And, because we all got to work together. All right, guys, once again, man, like, share, subscribe, comment, guys. I've got some people commenting. I'm able to. And if you got other subject matter that you want to hear about, send that to me. I like content. This is a little fun for me at times, guys. All right, you guys have a good one. And we're gonna end on this.